Class 6A playoffs. We have the Edinburgh Vela SaberCats taking on the Los Fresnos Falcons. Joining me, our special guest, Coach Brian Molina of the Harlingen South Hawks. Coach, welcome aboard.
Well, thanks a lot. Thanks for having me, Kevin.
Yeah, we got a special one lined up for you folks tonight. You know, two teams that won their district. A team out of 32 6A, Los Fresnos, coming in with a 32-3 record. Have made some history. They can win this game tonight. They would go to their first ever Sweet 16 in program history. Meanwhile, Edinburgh Vela coming in with a 22-16 record. They have a shot to go not only to the Sweet 16 for a second straight year, but for a fourth time in just their short 8-year history. Coach, what are you looking for tonight, and as far as this ball game goes with the X's and O's?
You know, X's and O's wise, I think Los Fresnos is looking to get out and run a little bit. They do a lot of their damage in transition, second shots. I think Edinburgh Vela is going to try to slow down the game. They're a really good half-court type team, and they execute well. So it should be a fun ball game.
Yeah, especially you know Los Fresnos just as well as anybody in this building. You coach against them twice. You know, looking at the Los Fresnos Falcons and seeing, you know, their freshman phenom, Jerry Martinez, and the things he's been able to do, Adrangeli, Artimirano, Elian Gonzalez, the list goes on. They're just full of athletes. But what do you think's the X factor going to be for Los Fresnos?
You know, I think the X factor with them is staying out of foul trouble. I think if they have to go to the bench, they have a good bench. Don't get me wrong, but it's not. I think overall, their bread and butter are their starting five. I think if they could stay out of foul trouble and and execute down the road, they should be okay.
How did the Los Fresnos Falcons get here? They won in the bi-district round against Edinburgh North 68-49. Well, some people are calling it an upset. They beat Laredo Alexander 48-45 in the second round. That was the monkey that Marco Hinojosa got off his back, was that elusive second round. They were able to do it. Then here they are in the third round. As for the Edinburgh Vela SaberCats, again, a team been here, done that before. How did they get here? They beat San Benito, coach, 68-61. We'll talk about that game in just a little bit. They beat Laredo Nixon 61-58, and more people are calling that an upset as well. And a lot of people had that Laredo district favored. Here is Edinburgh Vela. But then you look back, Coach, you circle that game against San Benito. It was 50-46 going into the fourth quarter. San Benito, I talked to Coach Jared Bly before the game. I said, this is just simply, you have no pressure. You're playing with house money, so to speak. The pressure is all on them. You just go out there and play ball, and they did. And San Benito really gave them a run for their money. But just talk about that game and how Vela was able to escape San Benito, because you saw San Benito. Oh, yeah. You played them twice a year.
We played them twice this year. You know, San Benito's a scrappy team, but they're also a team that has a really good point guard that can create for them. And if they're hitting, which they were against Edinburgh Vela, they could give you problems. And I think Edinburgh Vela saw that. But I think the experience of Edinburgh Vela being there, handling that situation, speaks volumes about them. You know, they could have very easily folded. As you said, all the pressure was on Edinburgh Vela. And sometimes when you have that much pressure, you know, and San Benito, like you said, is playing with house money, anything can happen.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick break. Kevin Aro, Coach Brian Molina joining us here on the broadcast. We are about 5 to 8 minutes away from tip-off. You're watching Real Sports Live. We'll be back in a moment.
Sponsoring tonight's game is Diamond 8 Concrete, located at 20880 Parker Road in Santa Rosa. Sponsoring tonight's game is Diamond 8 Concrete.
Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past, first pressings, collectibles. How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you. Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
Welcome back to Real Sports Live, coming to you live from the Burdog Arena in Edinburgh, Texas. Kevin Aro, to my left, Coach Brian Molina of the Harlingen South Hawks. Coach, a lot of basketball minds roaming around here. We've spent probably the last half hour just saying hello just to about everybody here in the arena.
Yes, we have. It's always good to see all the coaches out here, and it's for us from our point of view, actually being fans right now, the pressure's off. We kind of get to enjoy. Of course, we wish we were still playing,
right,
every coach in here, but it's nice to sit here and talk basketball and be able to give each other opinions on what we think might happen tonight.
Mm-hmm. That's the fun part, and that's the beauty of having this job, is that you can predict. Because I know when I talk with coaches, like yourself, we don't like to get ahead.
Oh yeah.
But with us, we can have fun and say, well, the what ifs, and we can kind of point that out. But Coach, talking about that second round, and as of last night, we had 8 Valley teams in the area around Santa Rosa. Lost last night to Corpus Christi, London, but we have 7 teams in action tonight. I thought this was the more impressive area round we've seen in some time from the Valley.
Oh yeah, the Valley teams being successful. What I like the most is, we have 3 Valley 6A teams still alive. Usually in the last couple of years, it's been the Laredo schools kind of taking over that second round. And I think this year we kind of got over the hump a little bit. And, with these 2 teams, obviously we're guaranteeing one of them going to the regional tournament at the 6A level, which is something great. And you still have Nicky Rowe, and I like their chances against Laredo United. We played Laredo United earlier in the year, and Laredo United is always going to be tough. But they graduated a lot of seniors last year, and I think with the experience that Nicky Rowe has, I think it should be a pretty good game. I like their chances in that game.
Joe Bowling will have that call from Kingsville tonight, so if you want to check out that one as well. They also, Port Isabel is playing. I believe they're playing first, and then Rowe is playing right after, so that game's also on Real Sports Live. So we got a good one for you here tonight, folks. Again, we're 3.5 minutes away from tip-off. We're going to have player introductions, and then we're going to roll into the national anthem. But, Coach, about, Los Fresnos, the team that, they won their 6th straight district title. It was a team that just could not get out of that second round. What was the difference this year that we've seen teams in the past could not do?
I think the real difference is the experience. They have Altamirano back, obviously, and then with Elian, who was, Gonzalez, who was last year's MVP in our district last year in 32-6A. And then you sprinkle in, obviously, the freshman, Jerry Martinez. I think they had the right ingredients, the right type of chemistry, and the right type of experience just to get over that hump, and they were able to pull it off.
Yeah, and we're talking about a district in the past couple of years has been arguably the toughest district in basketball, and just, for Harlingen South, just how challenging is it to having to play Los Fresnos, Harlingen? Even Hannah gave you guys a run for their money that second time around.
It's a tough district. That's why we put together such a difficult non-district type schedule, but to have to play night in and night out, you have no break. I mean, there's not one team that we can overlook. I mean, even this year, Browns-Ruveta has to be the best 6th place team I've ever seen. I mean, they beat some really good teams in non-district, gave a lot of teams a lot of problems, took Los Fresnos into overtime earlier in the season, and that's a team that finished last in our district. So, we have to prepare every night, or else we might get beat.
Right. Putting your coaching hat on right now, Coach Marco Hinojosa is to our right. What are you telling your troops right now, just a minute and a half before game time?
I'm telling them to not let, just to remind them that, it's a basketball game when all's said and done. Just go out there, enjoy the moment. They deserve this moment. They've earned this moment. But you got to come out with those first 3 possessions, and, we talk about that all the time. You got to come out strong. You got to come out fast. And, try to get a couple of easy buckets early, and hopefully that'll set the tempo for the game.
The first time these 2 teams met, it was back in December. Los Fresnos actually picked up the win 56-54. Coach, we're going to highlight that first quarter. Los Fresnos outscored Edinburgh Vela 18-5 in that first quarter, and Vela only managed to lose by 2. So just how important is it going to be for Edinburgh Vela to erase a slow start?
Yeah, that's going to be the key tonight. Edinburgh Vela has to come out in the first quarter and set the tone. Obviously, they're capable of coming back and making big buckets. They did it against Laredo Nixon last time, so they're never going to be out of a game. But I think if they come out and set the tone early with the way they execute their half-court offenses, it'll make for a difficult night for Los Fresnos. Defensively,
they held Jerry Martinez to only 6 points. So that's got to be an X factor, like we were talking earlier with Jerry and what he's trying to do as a shooter.
Anytime you can hold Jerry Martinez to 6 points, you're doing something. I mean, he's a phenomenal player with NBA range, and he's very consistent about it. He's also got he's also court savvy. He's also very smart when it comes to handling the basketball, getting to the bucket. I know last game watching them play online, It seemed like when every time they'd fall behind, he'd always come up with a couple of buckets here and there to kind of get them over the hump.
So Coach Brian Molina again joining us here on Real Sports Live. We're getting set for tip-off. Player introductions coming up. We'll take a quick break. You're watching Real Sports Live.
Sponsoring tonight's game is Diamond 8 Concrete, located at 20880 Parker Road in Santa Rosa. Sponsoring tonight's game is Diamond 8 Concrete.
Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past, first pressings, collectibles? How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you. Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
It's Truck Month at Hacienda Ford. What is Truck Month? It's when all the trucks are discounted the most, because Hacienda Ford knows whether you're hauling tools to the job site, hauling the kids to practice, or simply hauling ass. Hacienda Ford has the truck for you. With over 300 Ford trucks in stock, you can quit dreaming about the Ford truck you've always wanted and wake up and drive it. Hacienda Ford Truck Month. Hacienda has it.
Hola, les habla su amigo Benjamín Gómez, el alcalde de San Benito, invitando a toda la gente que venga a visitarnos aquí a San Benito. Crucen por el puente Los Indios, más bien conocido como el puente de Lucio Blanco. Visítenos a las atracciones que tenemos aquí en San Benito. Aquí los esperamos. Muchas gracias. Su amigo Benjamín Gómez.
Stop by today and enjoy the food at the La Feria Cafe. Great food made to order, handmade tortillas daily, breakfast, lunch, and Friday stop in for supper. The La Feria Cafe, open 7 days a week off of Business 83 in La Feria, Texas.
At First Community Bank, we believe in small business.
When Jennifer and Jimmy Wilson started Wild August Nursery and Flower Farm, they found Ricky Leal at First Community Bank had the financing to help them grow.
Make FCB your bank.
Sponsoring tonight's game is Sconsa Engineering, located at 1117 Stewart Place Road in Harlingen. Thank you, Casa Engineering, for sponsoring tonight's game.
This game is brought to you in part by the Concession Stand in Santa Rosa, a locally owned business providing a terrific atmosphere before or after the games and supporting athletes of all ages. When you're in Santa Rosa, be sure to stop by the Concession Stand and choose from the wide assortment of goodies. An advertising partner with Real Sports Live is the Concession Stand.
Internet is more than just uploads and downloads. It's about connecting people. VTX1 Companies is here for you, bringing communities closer together. VTX1 has connected customers for almost 70 years. Our internet service spans across South Texas to some of the most remote areas. Faster wireless service is now available in Palmview, Alton, Westlaco, and Pharr. Call 1-800-446-2031 or visit vtx1.net to find out more.
Sponsoring tonight's game is Diamond 8 Concrete, located at 20880 Parker Road in Santa Rosa. Sponsoring tonight's game is Diamond 8 Concrete.
Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past, first pressings, collectibles? How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you. Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
It's Truck Month at Hacienda Ford. What is Truck Month? It's when all the trucks are discounted the most, because Hacienda Ford knows whether you're hauling tools to the job site, hauling the kids to practice, or simply hauling ass. Hacienda Ford has the truck for you. With over 300 Ford trucks in stock, you can quit dreaming about the Ford truck you've always wanted and wake up and drive it. Hacienda Ford Truck Month. Hacienda has it.
And welcome back to the broadcast here on Rio Sports Live. Kevin Naro along Coach Brian Molina joining us at the Bert Ogden Arena, round 3. We're ready for some basketball, Coach.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah, I know you're
excited. I get to. It's a different point of view. I get to put on a different hat. Of course, I really haven't done this before too many times, but it's nice to be able to sit here and watch two good programs go at it.
Let's meet the starting lineup for Los Fresnos Falcons. Jerry Martinez, the freshman. Elian Gonzalez, the senior. Tony Aldrangheri, the other senior. Ricky Altamirano, another senior. And Luis Gonzalez rounding it out. 4 seniors, 1 freshman, Coach. How about that for Marco Hinojosa's
well, that's good news for me, being in their district next year.
Let's meet the starting lineup for Coach Lucio Rodriguez's Edinburgh Vela Sabercats. Matt Ardiaga, followed by Caleb Coronado, Alex Cantu, Bobby Espericueta, and Troy Hernandez. That is the starting 5 for Edinburgh Vela. Coach Lucio Rodriguez in his second year, looking for their second straight Sweet 16 appearance. There's the Edinburgh Vela Sabercats in the white uniforms, maroon trim for the home team, or the away team, the Los Fresnos Falcons. They're technically the away team here tonight, Coach. So we're ready for some basketball. Falcons on the court, Sabercats on the court. Tip-off just a couple of seconds away. Want to thank everyone for joining us here on Rio Sports Live. All right, tip-off coming your way. Espericueta and Altamirano at center court. And we are underway from Edinburgh. Falcons win the tip-off. Jerry Martinez with the ball. Out to Altamirano. Altamirano out to Elian Gonzalez. Back out to Martinez. Falcons with their opening possession, taking their time, kicks this one out to Elian Gonzalez. 3-pointers up, bang! Just like that. Good way to start if you're a Los Fresnos Falcon fan. Luis Gonzalez drills the early 3-pointer. Back comes Edinburgh Vela on the other end. Espericueta with the ball, kicks it out to Arteaga, back out to Alex Cantu. Ball picked away, almost a turnover. Caleb Coronado to inbound the ball. Sabercats trail 3-0 early on. Trying to drive to the lane, kicks this one out, back out to Arteaga. Back into the hands of Cantu. Over to Hernandez. Back into Arteaga, kicks this one out. SaberCats trying to find something offensively. That three-pointer is up. And almost got the friendly roll, rebounded by the Falcons, and back they come on the other end. Elian Gonzalez driving to the hole off the backboard and no good. Back come the SaberCats on the other end. Espericueta with the bucket. First 2 points of the night. Transition right there, Coach.
Yep, that's and that's what Edinburgh Vela needs to do. They need to get as many easy buckets as they possibly can.
.608.
If you notice that first possession, Edinburgh Vela had to pass the ball about 7-8 times, and I think that's going to be in their favor right there to let them.
Deep three-pointer from downtown, Jerry Martinez. Showing off the range.
You can't let him get started.
SaberCats trail early, 5-2. Bounce pass inside, kicks this one out.
Oh.
6-2 ball game, correction on the scoreboard. What happened on that possession right there, Coach?
It was a turnover by Edinburgh Vela. Actually, Los Fresnos got out in the passing lane and created that.
It's a 6-2 ball game, correction on the scoreboard. That's what happens when you have an extra pair of eyes. So Martinez hit his three-pointer his last time out. Gonzalez with the ball. Back over to Martinez with the left hand, trying to drive around his man. Back into Adrangeri, driving to the hole. Strong move and count the two. Great start for Los Fresnos, Coach.
Yep, it is. And that's when they have a lead. It's going to be a long night because they can do it. All five of them can handle the basketball.
Three-pointer. That one's in and out of the rim. Picked up by the Falcons, and here they come. The lead is 8-2, first quarter. And a packed house here at the Bert Ogden Arena. Elian Gonzalez with the ball. Gives it out to Altamirano. Driving to the hole, kicks it. Offensive foul.
Offensive foul.
So substitutions coming in. 8-2 ball game, 4:38.
See, that's going to be another advantage for Edinburgh Vela right there. They have a very deep bench. They can afford to go to the bench early and often. Maybe they're thinking they can wear them down a little bit down the stretch.
Coronado with the ball. Kicks this one out to Michael Garcia, driving in, stops. Gets this one out to Rodriguez. SaberCats trail 8-2. Espericueta gets this one back out into the hands of Michael Garcia, the senior, just checked into the ballgame. 4:14 left here in the opening period. 8-2, Falcons with the lead here at Bert Ogden Arena. Winner moves on to the Sweet 16, the regional tournament. Three-pointer on the way, good!
That's a big shot right there.
Michael Garcia puts the SaberCats within striking distance. Swing pass over, that shot's up, off the side of the rim, no good. Rebounded by the SaberCats, Espericueta. Back comes Edinburgh Vela. Another three-pointer, airballed it. Gonzalez with the rebound, and back comes Los Fresnos. They're going from left to right. Adrangeri trying to make a move. Gonzalez now going to take his time. Falcons lead early here, 3:16. Elian Gonzalez puts up a three off the back of the rim. No good, rebounded by the SaberCats. Now some substitutions in for the Los Fresnos Falcons. Dayton Noriega comes into the ball game. 3 minutes to go here in the opening period. 8-5 ball game. Michael Garcia hit a three-pointer his last trip. Handling the ball is Espericueta, puts a move, kicks this one out, three-pointer on the way from Garcia, it's good. We're all tied.
while Michael Garcia is giving them quite a lift, back-to-back threes, keeping them in the game.
Noriega with the ball just checked in. Hands this one up to Gonzalez, driving in, back out to Elian Gonzalez, driving to the hole, strong move. Espericueta back with the ball, kicks this one out. Vela puts up a three, Requena off the side of the rim. Rebounded by the SaberCats, turnover picked up by Jerry Martinez. Martinez thought about the three. Altamirano, that's going to be a turnover picked off by Espericueta. Under 2 minutes to go. Pass inside, trying to make a move is Requena. Hands this one off, and for the two. We're all tied again. Back and forth we go, Coach. Martinez with the ball, gets this out to Gonzalez. Kicks it back out to Martinez, puts up a three, bang! He's feeling it, Coach.
He is. You know, it seems like the bigger the stage, the bigger this kid plays.
Espericueta back with the ball. Coronado, that ball is picked up by Gonzalez. From a coach's point of view, is this exactly what you expected?
This is what I expected. You know, both teams can shoot the three ball really well, and they're proving it right now. Very little turnovers. I think Los Fresnos feels more comfortable spreading it out a little bit. I think Vela feels more comfortable with executing offenses, and it's shown here so far. Looks like Los Fresnos might hold for one here with less than a minute to go.
So, Coach, as a shooter, how long does it take for you to get to adjusted to there not being, you know, when you're shooting in your normal gym?
Background? You know, it's tough. The retractable rims, deep arena, it makes it difficult for a shooter. That depth perception, it's going to take a little bit, and plus with mixed in with the nerves and the adrenaline. I think that's why a lot of these three balls that both teams are hitting are from deeper than the regular high school three.
Right, there's tape here along on the court. That's for the high school range, and then of course you have the NBA three painted all along on the black.
Right.
So. 8 seconds. Los Fresnos looking for the momentum and get the bucket. 5-point Falcon lead, and that will take us to the end of the first quarter. We are through one. The Falcons lead the SaberCats 15-10. You're watching Rio Sports Live.
Sponsoring tonight's game is Diamond 8 Concrete, located at 20880 Parker Road in Santa Rosa. Sponsoring tonight's game is Diamond 8 Concrete.
Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past, first pressings, collectibles. How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you, Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
Welcome back to Rio Sports Live. Start of the second quarter and fireworks early on. The SaberCats trail by 5, but offensively not too bad. These two teams getting adjusted to the bright lights of the Bird Dog Arena. Class 6A, third round of the playoffs. The winner moves on to the Sweet 16, better known as the regional tournament. Garza's layup is no good. Back comes Los Fresnos here in the second quarter. We're having a lot of fun so far. Fans enjoying it in front of a packed crowd. Three-pointer, good! Jerry Martinez, the freshman.
That's his third one. He's 3 for 3 right now.
And we talked pregame that, you know, a pure shooter as Jerry is, if he can be on his game, he was going to be the X factor.
Yeah, he is. He is, and he's a heck of a player. The good news for Los Fresnos is they have 3 or 4 guys that can break defenses down. That gives him that opening to let go of the shot.
SaberCats trail by 8, biggest lead of the night for the SaberCats. Espericueta with the ball, gets it out, that one out to Arteaga, kicks it out. Shot up on the way from Garza is good.
You know, in Edinburgh Vela, obviously, they've proven that they can hit the 3 ball as well. And, you know, they can score in bunches.
Austin Garza, who tried to take the charge, the younger brother of the great Ryan Garza with the Edinburgh SaberCats. He's playing his ball up at St. Edwards. A shout out to him. And his father, Andrew Garza, is here in attendance as well. 3-pointer on the way from Espericueta. Good.
Just like that, Vela's shown that they can hit that 3 ball, which kept them in the game against Laredo Nixon. And, you know, as Valley teams, that's something that we're going to have to That's something that we're going to have to do in order to be successful at the regional tournament.
If Martinez makes that 3,
well, the roof might have come off of this building.
Here we go. Back and forth we go. Coronado with the ball. Being guarded by Altamirano. Coronado driving in. Kicks this one back out to Arteaga. SaberCats now taking their time. 5:56 here in the second quarter, excuse me. 3-point lead in what was just an 8-point Falcon lead. Back comes Edinburgh Vela. Falcons get the turnover here, and here they come. Martinez with the ball. Has not come out of this ball game yet. Driving to the hole. Ball knocked away.
You know, and that's the dimension that Jerry Martinez can add. You know, if he's knocking down 3s from the NBA range, you got to come up and guard him close. And he's also good enough to handle the ball and get right by you. And he does a great job of drawing contact and forcing you to foul him.
You know, Coach, it amazes me every year when, you know, covering these athletes, seeing kids like, you know, like Jerry Martinez, who's just a freshman, Julie Bryant from Harlingen, they step in and they play as if they never missed a beat.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
Yeah, you know, it's the kids are getting developed a lot earlier, a lot quicker nowadays. It looks like Los Fresnos jumping out into a 1-2-2 half-court trap a little bit, seeing if Edinburgh Vela can handle the pressure.
So a battle of the minds, so to speak.
Battle of the minds. Now they switch right back into man-to-man.
Espericueta trying to find somewhere to go with it. Gets it into the hands of Rodriguez. Back out to Espericueta. He had himself a big game the last time these two teams played. He scored 17 points. That 3-pointer's on the way. Good.
Well, it seems like both teams shoot the ball really well in a big arena.
They're digging these bright lights, I tell you what.
Yeah, they are.
That's going to be offensive foul.
It's a great job on Edinburgh Vela's part right there. Being patient on the defensive end, taking a charge. You know, when we prepare to play Edinburgh Vela, we know we got to go in there under control. I'm sure Coach Hinojosa's told him the same thing. You got to go under control because Edinburgh Vela is really good defensively. They'll take the charges. So
I've seen you all play. I've seen plenty of teams play. When they take an offensive foul like that, it fires them up.
Oh, it does. It does. That's the biggest play in basketball, in most coaches' opinion. It's a change of possession. Also gives another team a foul, and above all, you got one of your teammates sacrificing his body for the betterment of the team. So it's a huge play. I know we stand up. Everybody stands up and cheers for that.
Shots on the way, and that's another 3-pointer, Coach. These Falcons are shooting good and early.
Yeah, they are.
That was Aldrangheri who nailed that 3-pointer, but back comes Edinburgh Vela with another 2. Left hook, right hook, left hook.
It's going back and forth. And I think they're just sitting there. I think both teams are basically trying to take away the paint and seeing if the other team can hit the shot from the outside. And both teams are coming through.
Gonzalez thought about the 3, going to kick this one out. That 3-pointer is off the side of the rim. No good, rebounded by Garza. Luis Gonzalez's shot off the mark. Quick pass to Espericueta off the glass and good.
Edinburgh Vela's doing a great job in transition right now, getting out in the lanes. I think that deep bench is helping him out a little bit. Ooh.
Bang!
Back-to-back 3s from Aldrangheri. Tell you what, if their 5th leading scorer is hitting 3s like that, it's going to make a difficult night for Vela.
Garza with the ball, and Aldrangheri, he just masterful right now from the outside. Garza with the ball, almost lost the handle. Diving for it was Elian Gonzalez. Here comes Espericueta, picked away by Martinez. Back into the hands of Edinburgh Vela. A couple of turnovers here in the second quarter. 3:14 in the first half. Los Fresnos leads by 3. Coach Brian Molina, Kevin Aro here on the call, coming to you live from the Bird Ogden Arena, the third round of the playoffs on Rio Sports Live. One of 5 games we have streaming right now on Rio Sports Live.
You know, I hear the coaching staff over here at Vela telling them to be patient. I think that's good advice. The way you figure Los Fresnos can't score if they don't have the basketball.
There's an easy
Getty's gone on an 8-0 run just by himself here in the last minute and a half of the game.
Timeout on the court. We're going to take a timeout up here. There's that man, Adran Getty, like Coach mentioned, an 8-0 run all by himself. We'll stay on board and we'll talk a little bit more about this basketball game. Your coach, Marco Hinojosa, what are you telling your troops?
You know, right now I'm telling them we just got to buckle down on defense. We've given up a couple of transition buckets. We need to understand we're not going to make every shot that we take, but we certainly can't allow Vela just to get out and get easy buckets. We're going to have to make him work the ball as much as possible and try to get a big stop. Coming out of here, you have a chance to blow this game open right here with one big stop and one big conversion on the other end. And if I'm over here, if I'm Coach Rodriguez in the Vela huddle, I'm telling my kids right now this is a huge possession as well. We got to pass the ball several times, break them down, and try to get an easy bucket out of this to basically stop the bleeding.
And if you're Coach Lucy Rodriguez, just calming of the nerves?
Oh yeah, just calm the nerves. Take a deep breath. You know, they've been punched early by Los Fresnos, and they've responded every single time. So I'm looking for them to try to respond here, try to get something easy. I know he's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve as far as offenses that he can run is concerned. So look for them to try to get something easy in this possession.
It's a game of runs, right?
It is.
That's all I hear. Yep. It's a game of runs.
It's a game of runs and momentum.
Trailing here in the second quarter, trying to find their offensive rhythm here. Espericueta, where the ball gets it out to Rodriguez. Back out to Espericueta. Sabercats trailed by as many as 8, and all of a sudden they were able to tie the game, but unable to take the lead. Espericueta gets that one out. 3-pointer on the way. Off the mark, rebounded by Garza. Kicks that one back out to Espericueta. Bounce pass inside. Almost got the easy 2.
Wow. You got to have those easy buckets.
Alex Moreno checking into the ball game for Coach Marco Hinojosa's club. He's listed as a junior wearing the number 4, so a couple of substitutions for the visiting Falcons. Espericueta with the ball under 2 minutes to go here in the first half.
And we'll notice that Vela goes to their bench a lot. I think Coach Marco Hinojosa goes 7 deep at most.
So now some more substitutions. Right?
Vela looking back to bring Michael Garcia back. Maybe he can give him another lift like he did earlier, hitting back-to-back threes. Now that we have a pause, shout out to the Rio Grande Valley officials. They've done an outstanding job all year long, and I think this is a big game for them as well. Our 3 officials, Nelson Juarez, Freddie Martinez, and Victor Garza, they're representing the Rio Grande Valley chapter really well, and I've seen a lot of officials out here supporting them as well, and we do appreciate all the work that they do for us.
Absolutely, it's a tough job, and you and I, we're right in the thick of things, and it's a tough gig. Kudos to all the officials that are out there doing it.
Oh, yeah. No, they do a great job. We've had officials from out of town. We've had Valley officials, and I appreciate the job that they do.
Under 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Kevin Aro alongside our special guest, Harlingen South coach Brian Molina, joining us here on the broadcast. Papa Molina here sitting to our left. So a shout out to him as well.
That's the real Coach Molina.
The original. Yep. Espericueta driving, kicks this one out. Thought about the 3. And back into the hands of Espericueta. Into the hands of Michael Garcia. Kicks it back out to Coronado. Now the Sabercats slowing things down with Coronado. Trying to weave his way through the defense. Back out. 3-pointer on the way.
Great ball movement right there. Execution, that's huge right there. If they can keep this ball game under 5 points, that's a small win for Vela because Los Fresnos came out firing and not missing.
Gonzalez with the ball directing the offense. Under a minute to go. Are you playing for the last possession here if you're Los Fresnos?
They did this last time, and it paid off for the Falcons. I think Coach Lucio Rodriguez doing exactly what I would do. Go trap it, try to get it out of their hands. Let's see if we don't give them anything easy, or at least get another shot at it. It's a great job by Los Fresnos executing.
It's an easy 2 right there.
Oh.
Almost a disastrous
yes,
possession there. A little shaky here from the SaberCats. That shot's up off the mark. Moreno over to Martinez is at the buzzer. That's not going to count. But we've reached halftime here at the Bert Ogden Arena. Los Fresnos Falcons lead the Edinburgh Vela SaberCats 32-26. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll be back. You're watching Rio Sports Live.
Sponsoring tonight's game is Diamond 8 Concrete, located at 20880 Parker Road in Santa Rosa. Sponsoring tonight's game is Diamond 8 Concrete.
Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past, first pressings, collectibles. How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you. Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
It's Truck Month at Hacienda Ford. What is Truck Month? It's when all the trucks are discounted the most, because Hacienda Ford knows whether you're hauling tools to the job site, hauling the kids to practice, or simply hauling ass. Hacienda Ford has the truck for you. With over 300 Ford trucks in stock, you can quit dreaming about the Ford truck you've always wanted and wake up and drive it. Hacienda Ford Truck Month. Hacienda has it.
Hola, les habla su amigo Benjamín Gómez, el alcalde de San Benito, invitando a toda la gente que venga a visitarnos aquí a San Benito. Crucen por el puente Los Indios, más bien conocido como el puente de Lucio Blanco. Visítenos a las atracciones que tenemos aquí en San Benito. Aquí los esperamos. Muchas gracias. Su amigo Benjamín Gómez.
Stop by today and enjoy the food at the La Feria Cafe. Great food made to order, handmade tortillas daily, breakfast, lunch, and Friday stop in for supper. The La Feria Cafe, open 7 days a week off of Business 83 in La Feria, Texas.
At First Community Bank, we believe in small business.
When Jennifer and Jimmy Wilson started Wild August Nursery and Flower Farm, they found Ricky Leal at First Community Bank had the financing to help them grow.
Make FCB your bank.
Sponsoring tonight's game is Kansai Engineering, located at 1117 Stewart Place Road in Harlingen. Thank you, Kansai Engineering, for sponsoring tonight's game.
This game is brought to you in part by the Concession Stand in Santa Rosa, a locally owned business providing a terrific atmosphere before or after the games and supporting athletes of all ages. When you're in Santa Rosa, be sure to stop by the Concession Stand and choose from the wide assortment of goodies. An advertising partner with Rio Sports Live is the Concession Stand.
Internet is more than just uploads and downloads. It's about connecting people. VTX1 Companies is here for you, bringing communities closer together. VTX1 has connected customers for almost 70 years. Our internet service spans across South Texas to some of the most remote areas. Faster wireless service is now available in Palmview, Alton, West Laco, and Pharr. Call 1-800-446-2031 or visit vtx1.net to find out more.
Sponsoring tonight's game is Diamond 8 Concrete, located at 20880 Parker Road in Santa Rosa. Sponsoring tonight's game is Diamond 8 Concrete.
Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past, first pressings, collectibles? How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you. Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
It's Truck Month at Hacienda Ford. What is Truck Month? It's when all the trucks are discounted the most, because Hacienda Ford knows whether you're hauling tools to the job site, hauling the kids to practice, or simply hauling ass. Hacienda Ford has the truck for you. With over 300 Ford trucks in stock, you can quit dreaming about the Ford truck you've always wanted and wake up and drive it. Hacienda Ford Truck Month. Hacienda has it.
Hola, les habla su amigo Benjamín Gómez, el alcalde de San Benito, invitando a toda la gente que venga a visitarnos aquí a San Benito. Crucen por el puente Los Indios, más bien conocido como el puente de Lucio Blanco. Visítenos a las atracciones que tenemos aquí en San Benito. Aquí los esperamos. Muchas gracias. Su amigo Benjamín Gómez.
Stop by today and enjoy the food at the La Feria Cafe. Great food made to order, handmade tortillas daily, breakfast, lunch, and Friday stop in for supper. The La Feria Cafe, open 7 days a week off of Business 83 in La Feria, Texas.
At First Community Bank, we believe in small business.
When Jennifer and Jimmy Wilson started Wild August Nursery and Flower Farm, they found Ricky Leal at First Community Bank had the financing to help them grow.
Make FCB your bank.
Sponsoring tonight's game is Garcia Engineering, located at 1117 Stewart Place Road in Harlingen. Thank you, Garcia Engineering, for sponsoring tonight's game.
This game is brought to you in part by the Concession Stand in Santa Rosa, a locally owned business providing a terrific atmosphere before or after the games and supporting athletes of all ages. When you're in Santa Rosa, be sure to stop by the Concession Stand and choose from the wide assortment of goodies. An advertising partner with Rio Sports Live is the Concession Stand.
Welcome back to the broadcast on Rio Sports Live. Kevin Arrow, Coach Brian Molina here to my left. Coach, thoughts on the first half?
Great first half. You know, I don't know what the shooting percentages are for Los Fresnos, but they haven't missed very many shots. I guess the big question is, can they maintain that throughout the whole game? But, you know, credit to Edinburgh Vela. I mean, they've withstood Los Fresnos' best punches, and they're still there. And something we found out, well, that they've proven throughout the season is, you know, they're never out of a game. With that three ball, they could score in bunches.
Jerry Martinez with 11 points leading the way for Los Fresnos. 10 points for Aldrangheri. He had that 8-point second quarter. And then for Edinburgh Vela, 10 points for Bobby Espericueta. He's leading the way for that offense. So keys to the second half, Coach. One thing that your dad just mentioned was that he was paying attention to the coaches that of how loud it is in here. The kids might not even be able to hear what the coaches are saying.
No, right now and being in that situation before, you got to trust your team. And, it's something that you communicate in practice. I'm sure both coaches communicated that. Just kind of look in. We kind of try to put in like hand signals, stuff like that. That'll help your team out. But at this point, both teams have already played, almost 40 ball games. So I think they're both prepared and they know what they need to do. I think a huge thing for Los Fresnos is they finished off that half well, and they get to start the game with the ball in the second half. Score more points than them in the second half.
Coach Lucio Rodriguez right here. We're right next to the Edinburgh Vela bench. Coach Lucio Rodriguez, shout out to him, and a shout out to Coach Marco Hinojosa. So we're waiting for the clock. There it is. Second half is underway from Edinburgh. Winner moves on to the regional tournament in San Antonio. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to Rio Sports Live. Kevin Aro, Coach Brian Molina of the Harlingen South Hawks. Buckle up. We got a good second half for you.
Good second half coming up. Los Fresnos started off strong, and wow.
Missed bucket there.
Wow, he missed the layup, but he doesn't miss a 40-footer.
Right.
I'll take that trade-off.
Spericueta with the ball. Gets it out to Coronado. SaberCats looking to get the first points of the second half. Gets it back out to Spericueta. SaberCats going to set up their offense. Arteaga with the ball. 7:14, third period. 32-26. Falcons with the lead.
Looks like Edinburgh Vela is really trying to get inside that paint. They're being very patient on the offensive end.
So at halftime, just, I know the messages may change or the messages might not stay the same, but what's your message as a coach at halftime?
At halftime, I would tell my team, you just got to win the third quarter. Doesn't matter what the score is. Even though it's a close game, it's huge. You win the third quarter, and the fourth quarter, we can try to adjust and win the ball game in the fourth. But in that third quarter, it's real important that we come out and try to get the momentum right away. Both teams coming out with stops in the first quarter in their first possessions, so still nobody scored in the second half.
After the first quarter started with some serious fireworks, Jerry Martinez driving to the lane. Looks like he'll go to the free throw line, Coach.
Yep. And I like that move. So far, Jerry's first two shots in the second half have both been layup attempts. And credit to Edinburgh Vela. I think Edinburgh Vela is going to force him to put the ball on the floor in the second half.
And a rare miss from the charity stripe.
That's exactly what I was going to say. A rare miss from the free throw line from Jerry Martinez.
Arteaga driving down the baseline, kicks that one out, and it's going to be a turnover into the hands of the Falcons. Luis Gonzalez gets it back out to Elian Gonzalez. Gets the two. And one from Elian Gonzalez.
That's a great job by Coach Hinojosa. I guess his message of the second half is let's take over the paint. Let's try to get easy buckets. They came out of the gate knocking down threes. Their first buckets have now come on the free throw line and straight to the basket.
Completes the three-point play.
It's a 10-point lead now. I think it's the biggest lead of the game right there.
So now the SaberCats are going to try and muster up a run here in the third quarter. Like Coach mentioned, they trail by 10. Biggest lead for Los Fresnos. That shot back off the back of the rim, no good. SaberCats get the offensive board. Went off of Luis Gonzalez's foot.
Vela really needs to convert here in this possession. If you give Los Fresnos any type of lead in the fourth quarter, where they do a great job of handling the basketball, all five of them, and which makes it really difficult on defense to try to get anything, and then that'll lead to easy buckets.
SaberCats trying to get on the board here for the first time in this third quarter. Espericueta looking to change that hop step, kicks it to the outside. Back inside, strong move off the glass, and a big bucket.
Right there. Great job, good ball movement. Edinburgh Vela does a great job of passing up a good shot to get a better shot.
Troy Hernandez puts the SaberCats on the board. Back to an 8-point ball game. Gonzalez now directing the offense. Gets it out to Altamirano. Back out to Gonzalez. Gonzalez with the ball. Falcons taking their time on offense. Gonzalez finding a lane, kicks it back out. Alderangeri for three. Rebounded. What's going to be the call there, Coach? What's going to be the call there?
Yeah, I think they called a foul on Edinburgh Vela. I think the Vela coaches are upset because looked like he had good position, but they called a foul on him, I guess, with a hook.
Jerry Martinez from downtown off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Hernandez. Driving to the lane.
I believe the coaching staff said that Matt Patriaga has just picked up his 4th foul.
Now some substitutions coming in. Caleb Coronado at the free throw line. 4:46, 36-28. The score, Falcons with the lead. Misses his first free throw attempt. Michael Garcia checking into the game for the SaberCats. Like you mentioned, he provided a spark in that first quarter. Since then, he's been quiet.
Yeah, he has. He's passed, but credit to him. He's passed up some pretty good shots, gotten his teammates open. I think he needs to look to shoot the ball a little bit, especially if he's hitting. Big offensive rebound right there for Edinburgh Vela after the 2 missed free throws. Gives him an extra possession. Another easy basket. It's back-to-back easy buckets coming from the extra pass. Oh, Vela's out trying to press, trying to catch him off guard a little bit.
Now can the Falcons answer? Driving to the hole. Offensive foul. There it is, Coach. The offensive foul that can all of a sudden change the momentum in a ball game.
I believe that's his 3rd foul. And a timeout by Coach Hinojosa.
So a timeout on the court. We're going to take a timeout up here. 4:24 left, 6-point Falcon lead on Rio Sports Live.
Sponsoring tonight's game is Diamond 8 Concrete, located at 20880 Parker Road in Santa Rosa. Sponsoring tonight's game is Diamond 8 Concrete.
Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past, first pressings, collectibles? How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you. Forever Memories, 237 North.
Welcome back to Rio Sports Live. Be sure to follow us on social media. Give us a like on Facebook at Rio Sports Live. Follow us on Instagram, Rio Sports Live, and on Twitter as well. Kevin Aro joined by Harlingen South head basketball coach Brian Molina. Here on a Tuesday night prime time from Edinburgh, Texas at the Bird Ogden Arena. That pass is going to be picked off. Falcons with the basketball. Jerry Martinez into the hands of Gonzalez. Try to make a move.
A lot of Los Fresnos' damage is done on the right side of the court. And I think, maybe they're trying to adjust them to have to score on the left side now. It's a jump ball, but the ball goes over to Edinburgh Vela, so in my book, it's a turnover. Let's see if Edinburgh Vela can capitalize here. I mean, they've scored back-to-back buckets by making that extra pass and getting to the paint. Let's see what Coach Lucio Rodriguez does right here.
3:50 here in the third quarter. Coronado out to Garcia. SaberCats trail by 6. Back to Coronado, or Espericueta. That three-pointer is off the mark. Rebounded by Los Fresnos, and back they come on the other end. Luis Gonzalez with the ball. He's been rather quiet, Coach.
Yeah, Luis has. He started off with that big three to start out the game. And then, he really hasn't done much since then. But he's always going to be a presence. I think Vela's doing a great job of keeping him off the offensive glass.
Altamirano with a nice bucket there, and it's back to an 8-point lead. Three-pointer from downtown off the front of the rim. Wow. No good. Rebounded by the Falcons, going now from right to left here in the second half. Jerry Martinez with the ball. 3 minutes to go here in the third. Martinez driving in with the left hand. That shot got a piece of it. Now it's a loose ball picked up by Gonzalez. Kicks this one out. Thought about the three. Will drive it in again. In and out of the rim. Back and forth we go. Here comes Vela with Coronado's bucket.
Never easy buckets. That's 3 layups for Vela in the second half. I guess it seems like both coaches' messages were, hey, let's get to the basket. Let's not rely on that 3 ball. Let's try to shoot a little bit more high percentage shots. So kudos to the coaches for making that adjustment.
Adrangeri gets it out to Martinez. Back over to Gonzalez. Into the hands of Altamirano. Picked away by Espericueta. Nice spin move across midcourt. Coronado puts up a 3 off the side of the rim. Rebounded by the SaberCats. Fighting for the offensive boards, Coach. That's what you like to see in the third quarter.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to go ahead and stay here talking about the Edinburgh Vela SaberCats, Coach. Is this a tipping point in this ballgame?
This is definitely the tipping point. I think that's a good timeout that coach just took right there for 2 reasons. One, you're gonna keep the possession, and 2, might be able to draw up something to get another easy basket. Like I said, you can't give Los Fresnos any type of a lead going into the fourth quarter because they're so good at spreading you out, and they have 5 ball handlers out there on the court.
So Kevin Naro, Coach Brian Molina joining us live, the head coach of the Harlingen South Hawks. Watching some third-round basketball. The winner moves on to the Sweet 16, and they punch their ticket to that coveted regional tournament. And, Coach, we've seen teams that make the regional tournament, anything can happen.
Anything can happen. You know, and I like both these teams' chances of moving on to the next round. Both teams can do a lot of damage from the outside, and both teams are capable of getting hot.
Espericueta, nice jumper. And it's a 4-point game. Jerry Martinez has been quiet here in this third quarter, looking to get him going. Altamirano with the ball. Gets it out to Gonzalez. Gonzalez driving. That ball swatted away. Jacob Rodriguez with the block. The ball will stay with the Falcons. Inbounding it is Altamirano. Jerry Martinez puts up a 3. Rattles off the side of the rim. Gonzalez gets the offensive board.
You know,
4-point game.
We talked about Gonzalez being quiet, but you know he's doing those little things. That's back-to-back offensive rebounds, giving his team extra possessions, and those are the type of kids you like to have that kind of accept their role and embrace it and do a good job with it.
Gonzalez with the ball, out to Gonzalez, one to another, driving to the hole, does not get the friendly roll. Minute.
Gets another offensive rebound and draws a foul.
That's Luis Gonzalez, the senior. Pass inside. Strong move to the bucket. Ricky Altamirano. It's back to a 6-point Los Fresnos lead under 2 minutes to go. Here in the third quarter, Garza checks into the game. Espericueta back out. They try and drive this one in, kicks it out to Garza. Garza with the ball, shoots that jumper off the back of the rim, gets the friendly roll for the deuce.
Real friendly roll right there.
That clock's not running, Coach. We're at a minute 26. Okay, now the clock is running.
There it goes. I think maybe they like this game a little too much.
A little too much, right? Yeah, that's why we're having to fix our clock here. The clock wasn't running for just a couple of seconds there. Now we're back on track.
You know, Kevin, we talk about big possessions throughout the game, and here's another big one. Close out of the third quarter, about a minute to go. Edinburgh Vela looking for a big stop. Ball's in Los Fresnos' hands, and it seems like it's been in their hands at the end of the first, end of the second, and now at the end of the third quarter.
Altamirano driving through the defense. Strong move to the hole. Rebounded by the SaberCats, and back they come on the other end from left to right.
Let's see if they take the last one or they keep forcing the issue.
Espericueta driving, kicks it out to Garza. Garza trying to make a move inside the paint. Back out, picked up by Gonzalez.
It's a big turnover right there. Great job. Once again, we talk about Gonzalez doing the little things. He gets out and gets a steal right there. That should be the 16th foul on the SaberCats, which is going to put Los Fresnos in the bonus on the next foul. I don't want to jinx them, but Los Fresnos has done a pretty good job on the free throw line all year long. They got a bunch of guys that can finish.
Moreno inbounded the ball, 32 seconds. Three-pointer from Gonzalez is good. You talk about a big possession there, doing the little things right. Luis Gonzalez drilled a three. Big shot there from Marco Hinojos' team. Espericueta gets it out to Garza. Garza driving to the basket, kicks it out. Espericueta thought about the three. He'll drive, kicks this one back out. No one home. Pequeña wanted to get rid of the ball. Garza passes that one. Espericueta again had the three at the buzzer.
Great defensive possession right there by Los Fresnos.
Ow.
You know, at the end of the third quarter like that, you have to get a shot attempt.
So we're going to head to the fourth and final quarter from Edinburgh, Texas. We're coming to you live from the Bird Ogden Arena. 43-36, Falcons lead here on Real Sports Live.
Sponsoring tonight's game is Diamond 8 Concrete, located at 20880 Parker Road in Santa Rosa. Sponsoring tonight's game is Diamond 8 Concrete.
Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past, first pressings, collectibles. How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you. Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
Welcome back to Rio Sports Live. Start of the fourth and final quarter from the Bird Ogden Arena in Edinburgh, Texas. Kevin Aro, Coach Brian Molina joining us. Fourth quarter, Coach. What's it going to come down to?
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to little things. And huge stat right now is that Los Fresnos is almost in the bonus right now. So it looks like they're just going to keep milking that clock. They have 5 guys that can handle the basketball. They're going to try to see if they could put Vela to sleep a little bit and try to get easy buckets. They do a great job of keeping the floor spaced, which makes it really difficult as far as teams playing defense is concerned.
Gonzalez thought about the three. He'll kick this one out. Gonzalez to another. That three-pointer rattles in and out of the rim. Second chance points, no good. Rebounded by the SaberCats, and back they come on the other end. Garza with the basketball.
It's only a 13th foul for Los Fresnos, so they got fouls to give if they need to. I think the officials are doing a great job of letting both teams play. You know, at this level of play, third round games, sometimes it can be difficult. Some people like to call it tight. I like the way these officials are calling the game.
Caleb Coronado with the ball being guarded by Gonzalez. He'll work around a screen set by Espericueta. Garza still on the floor for the SaberCats, getting a lot of minutes here. Garza swings this one out to Espericueta. Fans are sitting courtside and they're enjoying this. Coronado with the ball, driving with the left hand, puts that one up off the backboard and no good. That ball poked away.
That should be 1-1. They don't have it up there, but it's 1-1. Well, now it's going to come down to free throws. Let's see what Los Fresnos can do.
One thing that coaches I know stress a lot. Adrangeri at the charity stripe. So again, we're in front of a packed house.
This is a really good crowd.
The SaberCat fans are sitting right behind us. And the Los Fresnos fans, a sea of maroon, are sitting right across from us.
Yes, they are.
Aldrangheri makes both free throws. 9-point Falcon lead.
SaberCats need a basket here. They've been successful getting to the basket. Let's see what they do here.
Rodriguez thought about the three. Back into the hands of Espericueta, driving. Kicks this one out. Coronado's shot. Gets the friendly roll.
Huge bounce.
That's the three-pointer that these SaberCats needed. Back come the Falcons on the other end.
Looks like
Elian
they're going to
Gonzalez.
start trapping him out of a half-court trap. It's a good move by Coach Rodriguez right there, catching Los Fresnos off guard. But if Los Fresnos is going to do, I'm sure Coach Hinojosa is going to adjust to it right here. Two good basketball minds kind of going at each other right now.
(45-39) the score. SaberCats have some momentum as Espericueta puts up a three. Just missed that shot. The ball will stay with the SaberCats. Coronado to inbound the ball.
It's only the 14th foul right there for Los Fresnos. Playing a pretty clean half.
Inbound the ball to Garza. Driving. That shot's on the way. No good. Another offensive board for the SaberCats. That ball poked away. And it's going to stay with Edinburgh Vela. So a lengthy possession here for Vela.
Yeah, that's back-to-back offensive rebounds. You hear Coach Hinojosa telling them, don't leave those guys open. They've gotten two good wide-open looks at the three-point shot. They just have fallen short.
Espericueta being guarded by Gonzalez. That ball into the hands of Requena, the sophomore. Now back into the hands of Garza. Driving to the basket and almost got the and one. That would have been a big possession there for Edinburgh Vela. Alex Cantu getting ready to check into the ball game. Alex Moreno.
Wow, Aldrangheri just fouled out of the game.
Oh, that's huge.
That is huge. Aldrangheri kind of gave him a spark early, and he's been doing a lot of little things, but what they don't realize is he's also one of their best defenders.
Right.
And he's been doing a good job on them, so we'll see how they adjust. And here's where that experience from the SaberCats come in, knocking down free throws. But of course, you have two good teams. They wouldn't be in this third round if they didn't do the little things right. So I think both teams from the free throw line do a really good job.
And coming from a kid who has seen plenty of big games, that's Austin Garza. Misses the second free throw again. His brother Ryan Garza was the man that took him to the promised land that we'd like to call. Coach Lalo Rios also here in attendance, former Edinburgh Vela SaberCat coach, now directing the ship over at Ed Couch-Elsa. Here comes Garza on the other end with the bucket. There you go, little brother. Austin Garza, little brother of Ryan, carrying on that torch. 3-point ball game. 4:51 left in this one. You're watching Rio Sports Live.
Sponsoring tonight's game is Diamond 8 Concrete, located at 20880 Parker Road in Santa Rosa. Sponsoring tonight's game is Diamond 8 Concrete.
Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past, first pressings, collectibles? How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you. Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
Welcome back to Rio Sports Live. You're watching the Edinburgh Vela SaberCat huddle. Coach, they trail by 3, and the big story here is Aldrangheri fouling out of the ball game. And you just said right out of the gate, you see the difference when he's not on the floor.
Yeah, you do. And like I said, he's a very good defender, but he's also reliable as far as not giving up offensive boards. And I think Edinburgh Vela has now taken advantage of that last couple of possessions. He's also smart with a basketball and a decent ball handler. So we'll see how Los Fresnos adjusts.
Definitely keep an eye on that as this one winds down. 3-point Falcon lead. Elian Gonzalez, the ball handler. Gets it into the hands of Altamirano. Back out to Gonzalez. Moreno in the game. Takes the ball. Back out to Gonzalez. 3-point Falcon lead here in the fourth quarter with a trip to the Sweet 16 on the line. Teams looking to punch their ticket to the regional tournament. Vela wanted to travel. Not going to get it. That's Jerry Martinez driving to the hole.
Well, now every foul that Vela creates is going to be a result of free throw line trip for Los Fresnos. I think Los Fresnos has the guy that they want on the free throw line as well, in Jerry Martinez.
Martinez is at the free throw line in a 3-point game. Makes the free throw here. He does. It's a 2-possession ball game. And he makes both of them.
You know, look for Martinez to try to take over a little bit here in the fourth quarter. He did it against Alexander when they needed big buckets. It seems like you know, the tighter the game gets, the better this kid gets.
We'll see how the SaberCats elect to counter as Pericueta with the ball back out to Garza. He'll drive 2 through the hole. No good. Rebounded by Los Fresnos.
They had a good shot right there. Good shot attempt. The ball just didn't fall for them.
Jerry Martinez, the ball handler, being guarded by Espericueta across his midcourt. 3:45 and counting here in the fourth quarter. Gonzalez with the ball. SaberCats were looking for the offensive foul, right, Call?
Yeah, they were. They certainly were. You know, it's a 50-50 call. You know, I didn't have a good angle on it. I thought the officials have been doing a great job, so I'm not going to argue the call at all. And it looks like that they just put Matt Adriaga back. He's got 4 fouls.
Now Elian Gonzalez, free throw off the mark. Altamirano with the ball, palming it with one hand, being guarded by Hernandez, driving the lane, kicks it to Moreno, off the basket and good. Timeout on the floor taken by Lucio Rodriguez. We got 3:20 left in this one. Things are getting pretty interesting here, Coach.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. You know, coaches are going to fight for their players, and you got to respect that. I think right now, if I'm coaching Hinojosa, he's done a good job of calming them down. Right now, they have all the momentum in their favor. All they have to do is get a stop. You know, they get a stop, they get the ball in their hands, and I think right now, the clock running, the ticks running off the clock is probably more important than a wide open shot. You know, if I'm telling them we're going to take nothing but easy shots, nothing but layups, wide open threes, and try to win the ball game on the free throw line, I believe they're already in the double bonus. So you're looking at 2 shots every time they go to the line. On the other end, I think Coach Rodriguez has always done a good job of calling timeout, calming his team down, and looking for an easy bucket here.
.320 left in this one, and Coach, if you're Coach Marco Hinojosa, you got to start sniffing it just a little bit more. The Sweet 16, you're on the cusp. You're right there.
You're right there. You're right there. I'm telling my kids, you're 3 minutes away, unless all we have to do is do it on the defensive end.
Right there.
A big steal right there. Right now, best thing to do for Los Fresnos is to get an easy bucket or just run the timeout, just like that right there. Great decision-making by Los Fresnos.
Martinez with the ball. Under 3 minutes to go. So this is where it all comes down to, where you talk about the old cliches about the weight room and who wants it more. And this is what you work for in May and June for moments like this in early March. And I think that's what Los Fresnos realizes, that, hey, we're on the cusp of not just making the Sweet 16, but history. They've never been there before.
Yeah, they never have. And, these kids have been working. They've been playing together all summer long, for years, as a matter of fact. And, for moments like this, I'm sure Coach Hinojosa is reminding them right now that, hey, you know what, we're right there, but we still have got to get stops.
They still have to make stops because this is still a dangerous Edinburgh Vela
it's a
team.
very dangerous, and they could score. They could score quick.
Coronado gets this ball out to Alex Cantu. Back into the hands of Espericueta. Time ticking on Edinburgh Vela's season. They want to muster up a comeback.
Yep.
It's going to have to
And
start on this possession.
If you're Edinburgh Vela, you really don't have time to let too much time run off the clock.
So Coronado will inbound it.
Long, dangerous pass.
Espericueta driving, gets this one out. Three-pointer on the way. Good! Big three-pointer there from the SaberCats.
Yep. And right on cue, they're going to press. Let's see how Los Fresnos handles it.
Moreno driving to the basket.
Gets it easy, too.
They counter with an easy two. 45-53, SaberCats trail. 2 minutes to go, another three-pointer. That one missed. Back comes Elian Gonzalez. That layup's good. Falcons extend their lead to 10 with 1:51. Elian Gonzalez and the Falcons are feeling it, Coach.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They're sensing it. You got less than 2 minutes to go. You got guys that can handle the ball. You got guys that can shoot free throws. And you got a really good defensive team that's done a great job all night long, kind of taming and slowing down the momentum of Edinburgh Vela. I know Coach Hinojosa likes his chances right here.
You spend a lot of time with Marco, you know, just how much would it mean for him, not only as a coach, but just as a person, and how hard they worked, and all the scrutiny he's had to hurt on the Falcons can't get out of this second round, and finally being able to not only get over that second round hurdle, but to make a run to the regional tournament.
You know, it's going to be big for him and for his coaching career. He's a heck of a coach. He's proven it year in and year out. He's won 6 district titles in one of the toughest districts around. And I think by him getting over the hump last game against Laredo Alexander and then trying to get to the Sweet 16, you know, we've talked about it. He does a good job of picking coaches' brains that have been there before. I know we talked about it, him and I, about, you know, what do you tell kids? How do you handle these situations? And he's done a great job with this program, and he's done a great job of getting these kids ready.
Well, the Falcons have a 10-point lead and couldn't have come at a better time. Under 2 minutes to go. Vela trails by 10. Coronado with the ball. He's going to drive and kick. Three-pointer from Arteaga off the mark. And back into the hands of Espericueta. Puts up a three.
Second possession shots. Now all Los Fresnos has to do is just take care of the basketball. Just take care of the basketball. No turnovers, easy buckets.
There you go.
Right there.
An easy deuce.
Yep.
SaberCats trail by 9. Minute 12 left in this ball game. Caleb Coronado, he's at the free throw line. Coronado scored 17 points the last time these two teams met. Misses the first free throw. So one thing we knew for sure from tonight, San Perlita lost earlier tonight, so they're out of the playoffs. They lost to Weimar. That one a little bit of a shocker. Yeah. But again, no Ty Johnson. That's a big loss for the Trojans. But one thing we knew was we were guaranteed a Valley team in the regional tournament here tonight, and that's what's going to happen.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I mean, tonight's game was a win for the Valley, no matter what. You know, with Vela and Los Fresnos playing.
So a timeout on the floor. We're going to take a timeout up here. You're watching Rio Sports Live.
Sponsoring tonight's game is Diamond 8 Concrete, located at 20880 Parker Road in Santa Rosa. Sponsoring tonight's game is Diamond 8 Concrete.
Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past, first pressings, collectibles? How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you, Forever Memories.
Welcome back to Rio Sports Live. A minute 2 left in this ball game. The Los Fresnos Falcons on the brink of their first ever Sweet 16 appearance in San Antonio. Under a minute to go. Gonzalez gets that bucket.
Coach Hinojosa braver than I am. I would have just pulled that ball out, but hey, he knows his team better than we do, and that one thing his team does is they finish.
Back to a 10-point lead. If you're looking at Edinburgh Vela, you see a lot of seniors across the board, but then you also have a mix of juniors and sophomores, and if their season does come to an end tonight, Coach, you have to like what they've done. Again, this school only in their 8th year. They've been to 3 Sweet 16 appearances. This could have been their 4th if the Falcons are able to hold on and get this win. But just talking about a program that has been to the promised land.
I think the Falcon fans are sensing it.
They smell it.
29 seconds away, you got a 10-point lead. As Matt Atreaga fouls out.
It's always tough. He's a senior playing in his last basketball game in a Sabercat uniform. Elian Gonzalez, free throw off the mark.
You know, for the Los Fresnos Falcons, you know, you got to like the type of game that they play, the type of style that they bring. You know, it's gonna give them a good shot there, whoever they're playing in the first round of the regional tournament.
60-49, 25 seconds and counting, and the Falcons are getting ready to punch their ticket to the Alamo City. That shot off the mark. Sabercats all can do now is hope for a prayer. That jumper off the back of the rim. Countdown is on. Shot off the mark. Here we go. Countdown. Falcons fans on their feet. Shot's good at the buzzer. Los Fresnos Falcons are headed to the Sweet 16 for the first time in program history. Final score from the Bert Ogden Arena, 62-49. Put them up, 4.
They're holding up the 4. Congratulations to Coach Hinojosa and his staff and his team. You know, very well-deserved, hard-working group, and it's a feather for 32-6A. You know, they're representing our district well.
The Los Fresnos Falcons punch their ticket to the regional tournament. Heck of a ball game, Coach, and exactly what everyone was expecting. We were expecting a battle. We got it. We saw Los Fresnos overcome with Aldrangheri fouling out of the ball game. That game was at a tipping point, Coach, when you and I said, okay, this can go one way or another, and you saw automatically the effect of not having Aldrangheri on the court. On the court,
yeah, you know, and it really was. And, you know, credit to Los Fresnos. They took care of the basketball, got some easy buckets, made free throws, and that was huge. You saw, of course, you see a lot of experience on both squads, and I think both teams, you know, they gave the Rio Grande Valley, they made them proud. I mean, it was a really, really good game.
So the Los Fresnos Falcons are moving on to the Sweet 16, the regional tournament, and a big, big accomplishment for this Los Fresnos program. They had never been there before. Some might have said they were the underdogs coming into this game because of the fact it was all new territory for them. But for Edinburgh Vela, their season comes to an end. They finished with a 22-17 record. They finished as district champs under second-year coach Lucio Rodriguez, a team that went to the Sweet 16 last year. But there you go. There you go. The Los Fresnos Falcons taking it all in from their crowd. Coach, what a moment.
It's a great moment. It's a great moment. I know Coach Hinojosa's, you know, excited for his team. I know he's had some sleepless nights lately. You know, maybe he can relax a little bit and jump on that bus to San Antonio.
Oh, Coach, what you take all this in, just how fun was it being able to just sit back and talk basketball?
It was nice. It's nice. Looking at it from this point of view, you get to see two good teams going at each other. I actually get a first-hand seat to get to see the type of adjustments these coaches are making. And, kudos to them. Both of them do a great job with their teams. Both teams played really, really hard. And Edinburgh Vela had a great showing tonight. And, we're, of course, on the other end, very, very excited for the Los Fresnos Falcons and Coach Hinojosa and his staff. I know how hard they work. And I know that they're not done. They are the type of team that can definitely do some damage at the regional tournament. They bring a good mixture of a team that can defend, a team that can run, and a team that can shoot the three. And whenever you have a team that can shoot the three, you're going to be a dangerous team.
Check that out. They're all mobbing Coach Hinojosa here right in front of us at the scorer's table. Celebrate Los Fresnos. You're going to the Sweet 16. Want to thank everyone for joining us here on Real Sports Live. Berto Ruiz up on top in section 215. A shout out to him. He ran the camera. Everyone here at the Bert Ogden Arena for setting everything up with us. For myself, Kevin Aro, Coach Brian Molina, hey, thanks for coming on board.
Yeah, it was a pleasure, Kevin. Thanks for having me.
So the final score from Edinburgh Bert Ogden Arena, Los Fresnos 62, Edinburgh Vela 49. Want to say so long and good night from Edinburgh.
Sponsoring tonight's game is Diamond 8 Concrete, located at 20880 Parker Road in Santa Rosa. Sponsoring tonight's game is Diamond 8 Concrete.
Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past, first pressings, collectibles? How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you, Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.